Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters out there who believe in this gospel. As you see, the title of this lesson is we are about to witness big things happen, right? And coming off of the, or actually not coming off of, but going into the month of November, where it's been declared by Trump that, SNAP benefits or food stamps or, particular government benefits are not going to be available and accessible to, the Babylonian people who were utilizing these government benefits, right? And primarily women, right? And you got a lot of Eve who are benefactors of these government benefits, but you also got a lot of Edomites who are benefactors of these, or beneficiaries of these, these government benefits like food stamps, SNAP, EBT, things like that. And I'm speaking on that specifically because of this government shutdown. That's what's going to be discontinued for the month of November, right? Because you also got government benefits like, Medicaid, Section 8, things like that. But particularly this one is dealing with food. And, this is going to cause something big to going on. Shalom, brother, shalom. Y'all bashim yasha bashim kagadas rakata. Shalom, mak shalom. Y'all bashim yasha bashim kagadas rakata, right? This is going to cause something big to happen over here in America. And I got a few video clips that I want to go into. Then I got some precepts. And Lord willing, this be an edifying video. I'm going to play this first one here from the brother in Kansas City, Brother Ma Lawyer, whose page is GMSKC Prophets 3. Right, so I'm going to play this at the beginning of his video here. All right, let me skip ahead a little bit. Hold on.
Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with cars and I'm not paying for shit.
All right. So y'all seen that, right? Y'all seen what was said in those couple of video clips, right? You got, Eve talking about she finna go up in Debo in the grocery store and, you know what I'm saying, take everything she can and dare you to try to stop her, And then you got the other Eves, they talking about, hey, we selling box. You know what I'm saying? We, you know what I'm saying? It's for sale. It's for purchase. You know what I'm saying? Which it's already been for purchase. You know what I'm saying? These women have already been advertising and selling themselves in various different ways, right? Various different ways. And yeah, it's hitting them hard. It's hitting them hard, right? Especially when it comes to these food stamps, because you got a lot of nigga women, right? Especially these hood rats, these chicks that's in the hood. You know what I'm saying? These chicks that's, living off of these government benefits, man. They gonna really suffer. They gonna really be out here suffering, and they gonna feel the heat of, you know what I'm saying, not having all of the things that they need, right? So like here, let me get to my list of scriptures. Like here. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna start off with Isaiah chapter 32:9. And it reads, it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech," right? Rise up, ye women that are at ease. And these women are at ease here in Babylon the Great, right? A lot of women get particular benefits by just being women. You know what I'm saying? Just being women, right? They get the ability to, talk and say whatever that they want to say. The pride is at an all-time high, right? There was another video I posted in the chat earlier this morning of a Eve talking about some, go to the food banks, go to these churches, go to these, food drives and everything like that to, replace the food stamps and everything, right? And the brother Arad, the head of the St. Louis camp, he always says these women always come up with every other solution but to align themselves with a man that they can follow, right? And a lot of these women, they have the luxury of not aligning themselves with a man that they can follow, right? Because that's how Esau Edom has set this system up. Esau Edom has put these women in a place to where they can rely on daddy government. They can rely on Zaddy Esau. You know what I'm saying? They can rely on if you can't, if a man for you, if submitting to a man for you is not an option, well, you can jump on over here and you can get on these government benefits. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can go ahead and you can get a college degree, and with this college degree, we'll give you a career. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you a career path, right? Now, in my opinion, ain't nothing wrong with a woman necessarily having a job and making her own money. You know what I'm saying? But it's the attitude that she has to come with. You're not finna come to me because you're able to make money. You're not finna come to me telling me how shit is finna go. As a woman, you still have to follow a man's lead no matter how much money you make. Because money is just a materialistic thing that we, use as a tool in this world. But you ain't gonna come to a real man, you know what I'm saying, even though you may make six figures, even though you may make more money than him. A real man is not going to allow you to run him and run the relationship that you have with him, right? Verse 10, it says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." Let me look at this word, vintage. Okay, this thing want to be slow. This thing was just rolling right on time a few minutes ago. Make sure my hotspot is come on. hotspot is good. I don't know what's going on. Oh, damn, hold on. Oh, select it. Here it just popped up. Okay, let's look at this word vintage. Right? And it means, so it says vintage. Okay, it don't give a real good definition. Bear with me. I'm going to go up here on the Edamon line and look this word up, vintage. It says, so on the Edamon line, it says, harvest of grapes, annual product of the grape harvest, yield of wine from a vineyard, right? A gathering of grapes, yield of grapes, right? This is a compound combining to take off, right? So basically it's going into resources, right? You know, the gathering of grapes or the harvest, right? Food stamps is a part of the gathering of, you know what I'm saying, their harvest. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women get, you know, some women get thousands of dollars in food stamps every month, but a lot of women get at least hundreds of dollars in food stamps every month, right? You know, majority of the women who I've met who have been on food stamps, EBT, WIC, or SNAP, whatever program it may be, a lot of them get at least, you know, between $300 and $500 in those benefits that they're able to use every month. Go to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying, go to various different stores and buy food for either just themselves or their children. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these women don't, for one, majority of women are not financially responsible, right? Majority of women are not. They're emotional spenders, and they frivolously spend money on things that make them feel good. You know what I'm saying? Clothes. You know, a lot of women get different little trinkets, decorations, and things like that, right? But, you know, a lot of these women don't have the financial responsibility or the fiscal responsibility to really take care of their food and everything like that from their own income. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it's hitting them so hard. Which is why this whole thing is a big deal to them, because now they either got to dig in to the money that they're making from their jobs, or they may have to go get a job, you know, or various different things can happen. But that's why it's a big deal, because now they have to somehow go into their own pockets and buy food, right? And it's going to hit them hard, especially if they got kids, especially if they got multiple kids, right? You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, kids eat, you know, and all they buy them is, and I think it was another thing too, where you can't even buy particular like snacks and stuff like that, like sweets and candy and everything like that, which is majority of what these nigga women buy their kids is a bunch of junk and a bunch of bullshit, right? But let's keep on going. Verse 11, it says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, right? And lament is basically going into mourning, right? Verse 13, it says, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, right? So basically, it's about to be hell out here for the Israelite woman, right? Most women in general, but we're focusing on you Israelites, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women, you know, you have heard this ministry and you have come up against this ministry in a prideful manner, you know, talking a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, saying things, you know, saying that the man, you know, Hebrew Israelite man are dusty, you know, y'all are, you're hateful, you got wrinkled garments, you know what I'm saying, you look homeless. They say all these particular things about us, you know, but the things that we've been prophesying, and we've been prophesying this for a while, are coming true, right? Because they're what? They're written in the scriptures. They're written in the Holy Bible. All of these things that we've been telling you. Look, all them benefits, man. Starting with this, with these food stamps and these Medicaid and everything like that, you know, this devil is gonna strip all of that from you. And just as it says in the scripture, Isaiah 32:9 on down, you know, you're gonna be stripped of all your, you know, your luxuries. You're gonna be stripped of all of these things that you used, you know what I'm saying, to be able to separate yourself from the Israelite man, you know, and a lot of these women are gonna be running back to Israelite men, right? A lot of these, like they said, you know, a lot of them is gonna be offering the box. A lot of them is gonna be offering the box for a fee or for free, you know, to try and get in good with you. You know, and a lot of and these women, they know that a lot of these men are sexually deprived. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are thirsty. So it's going to be a lot of men that's going to go for it, right? But if you wise and you using wisdom, you know, even if these women are beating down your door, majority of them, man, you just going to, you know, turn them away. Because number one, their intentions are not going to be right. Right? Their intentions are going to be that as if, all right, I'm down bad. You know, let me find somebody who I think is going to be a quote unquote provider for me, or somebody who is going to, you know, take away my reproach. Let's go here. We all know Isaiah 4:1, because it's coming to pass. And it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach, right? And what's the reproach? These women are going to be broke. These women are going to be losing their homes. They're going to be having all of their kids with them and everything like that. And they're going to be looking for somebody to take on the responsibility of, like the scriptures say, taking away the reproach, taking on that responsibility of taking care of them, covering them, giving them a covering, right? But majority of you women is going to be too late, especially when you come into the men of the Lord, because we'll be able to see right through you in that day. We can see through you now, but you know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to give us that spiritual x-ray vision to really be able to see into your intentions. As soon as you walk up to us, we're going to be able to tell if you're sincere or not. We'll be able to know, all right, this motherfucker, she really is trying to add value to my situation that I have going on, or she just want benefits for herself. She's not really trying to, you know what I'm saying? She's not really trying to add to what I got going on. She's not really trying to, you know, be an asset to me. She's trying to be a liability, and she's trying to mask that liability with pussy. You know, that's what a lot of these women are going to be doing. They're going to be masking their them being a liability with just a bunch of pussy. They're going to be popping it open, busting it open. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be walking down the street and walk up to you, and you know what I'm saying? They're going to grab on your Johnson with their mouth wide open. You know? Talking about some just let me, you know, let me taste it, all that type of shit, right? These women is going to get wild in this day, man. I'm telling you. They're going to get wild. When they get desperate, man, they're willing to do whatever. Let me keep going. Okay. Salakia. is this one? Okay. So like, here we go. Cause this is this whole situation that we're seeing is going into what could become a famine. You know what I'm saying? A famine of food and things like that. This situation that we're seeing with the EBT and the food stamps could be going into that, right? And we've got situations, and speaking on famine, because we understand that here in Babylon the Great that the whole entire system is going to fail, right? So that means that there's not going to be any food on the shelves. The necessities, the everyday necessities are going to be like, gold real soon. These everyday necessities that we rely on to survive, to, keep our, just to live out our daily lives, man. A lot of these necessities, they're going to be, a rare thing in these coming days. Right? So let's go here to the book of 1 Kings, chapter 17, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it says, And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, As the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there, right? So Elijah prophesied of famine because of what? Because of the wickedness of Ahab, right? And when you think about that situation too, you can kind of relate that spiritually to today, because Ahab was what? Ahab was a simp. Ahab was a sucker, right? He was following behind Jezebel and doing as she pleased instead of doing what was pleasing to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what a lot of men, the mindset of a lot of men are in today, is to please the woman. And a lot of these women have the spirit of Jezebel, right? They want to run the man. They want to they want to lead the man, right? Even so much so that when they come across a man that's masculine, that they're attracted to, right? That they want to be with, but they can't get out of that mindset of, I got to have control. I got to be the one to run the situation. You know what I'm saying? And brothers can attest, brothers have been in these situations where you're dealing with a woman and she's constantly trying to control and fight for power over you in the situation. Constantly asking you, you know what I'm saying, where you going? What you doing? You better not be with no other bitches. You really gonna go out here and leave so you can go see another bitch, and the whole time you just walked outside to get some fresh air. You know what I'm saying? You just walked outside to get some fresh air. You just went to the park to go for a walk. Everywhere you go, you know what I'm saying, she think you with another broad. Really, she's trying to badger you and shame you for your nature as a man, to make it seem like what you do naturally, you know what I'm saying, is wrong. Right? But nonetheless, in this time here in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 17, Israel went into a famine because of the wickedness of Ahab, right? And a big part of his wickedness was he was following after his woman Jezebel, right? Verse 6, and it says, And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook, right? So even though famine was going on in Israel, Elijah was cool. You know what I'm saying? Elijah was a prophet. The Lord had the ravens, had the birds to feed him. You know, they brought him bread. They brought him meat. He had water from the brook. You know what I'm saying? So Elijah was cool at that time. You know, while everybody else was suffering, everybody else was going through hell, right? And this is just another example of how the men of the Lord are going to be good in this day, right? Let me get another scripture. It's the book of Job, chapter 5, and start at verse 19. And it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7, there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shall not sin, right? So in this day of famine, in this day of tribulation, right, the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shad are going to be straight. You know, the Lord is going to be looking out for us. The Lord is going to be protecting us, right? The Lord is going to have our backs in that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we know there are certain of us, certain men of the Lord who are going to have to, you know, go through particular trials, be thrown in prison, you know, be beheaded for the sake of the ministry. We know those things are going to happen, right? But, you know, for others, the Lord is going to have us in good case. You know, the Lord is going to have us in a good situation to where while the rest of these people are, you know, in chaos, you know, in famine, they scared, they don't know what to do, they crashing out, they going crazy. The men of the Lord are going to be calm, cool, and collected, right? And that's another thing that is going to attract a lot of women to the men of the Lord, because while everybody else is flipping the fuck out, you know, we gonna be cool, we gonna be calm. Like, shit, we knew this was gonna happen. Like, we've been telling y'all this was gonna happen. I don't know why y'all ain't listen. We knew this was gonna happen. That's why we're gonna be so cool in that day. We're not gonna worry, right? Because one, we have faith that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is gonna look out for us, and we understand through these scriptures, right, what's been prophesied. So we know how to script. That this is another gift, though, right? This gift of prophecy, the gift of the understanding of the scriptures. We know the playbook. We know how all of these things are going to play out. We know how these things are going to happen. So we really don't have to worry. Even if we shall perish by, you know what I'm saying, by being beheaded, or, you know, being a sacrifice for the ministry, we're still good. You know, we're not like these other people where we fear death. You know, we don't fear death, and we don't have the same perspective of death as the typical Babylonian. We understand what death really is, and death is really nothing to be afraid of, you know? And, you know, speaking as a man, speaking as a, you know, somebody who understands the scriptures, you know, Lord willing, in that day, I have the same attitude. Lord willing, in that day, brothers have that same attitude, to where we're not worried about, you know, having to be a sacrifice for the ministry, or, you know, having to lose our life for the ministry, right? Because the Lord is putting us through various trials and tribulations right now. The Lord is putting us through various different things, you know, right now, to prepare us for what we'll have to go through in that day. You know what I'm saying? Because all these other people are not being prepared. You know, niggas is not being prepared. You know, these heathen are not being prepared. These Edomites are not being prepared. Even though they may be preparing carnally, you know, getting guns, getting weapons, stocking up on food, thinking that these things are what's going to cause them to survive in that day, right? They have no understanding that the Lord is in control of everything. It don't matter how much food you stock up. It don't matter how many weapons you got. It don't matter how much how much ammunition you have. You know what I'm saying? Because I see that one cat, Nicholas Irvin, the former sniper who was in the military. You know, he talks a lot about, you know, himself and various other people that he knows having entire weapons and arsenals and things like that. You know, bunkers full of guns and stuff like that, right? Right? You only got two hands. So, you know, you can only hold two guns at a time, right? So it really don't, unless you got an army of 50 people with you, it don't matter if you got 50 guns, you can only hold two of them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you got your wife and let's say you got two kids, all right, that's what? 8? So if you got 50 guns, you got 42 left. You know what I'm saying? If everybody got 2. But it don't matter how many guns that you have. It don't matter what weapons that you have, right? If the Lord ain't with you, your weapons ain't gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that carnal shit is gonna save you, right? Because our weapons are what? Our weapons are spiritual, right? Because we're in a spiritual warfare, right? Our weapons are not carnal like these other people, you know? Let me go back to 1 Kings. First Kings chapter 17 and verse 7, it says, "And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. And she said, As the Lord thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die," right? Because she was ready to die. She was like, "Literally, this is going to be our last meal. I'm finna get these 2 sticks and rub them together. Rub these 2 sticks together, make a little bread, and we finna go. We finna check out this bitch," right? Verse 13, it says, "And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth," right? So the little that she had, the Lord extended it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord extended it and made more. Just like the example with Yahushua, when he fed 5,000 men with 5 loaves of bread and 5 fish, I believe, right? He fed 5,000 men because the Lord extended it, right? He said, crumble it up, divide the bread and the fish and put it into a basket, and everybody was able to eat. All 5,000 men were able to eat, right? And that's just the 5,000 men. They probably had wives. They probably had children with them. So it was probably more than that they ate, But these are the miracles that the Lord is going to perform for us. Because, we're going to see great things. We're going to witness big things happen in terms of, famine, people crashing out, all of these things that's going to go on the left side, all of this destruction that's going to happen on the left side, right? But at the same time, simultaneously, on the right hand of the Lord, on the right side of righteousness, the Lord is going to be performing miracles for his men. The Lord is going to be performing miracles for his servants, those who serve him in truth and in sincerity, the elect, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to be doing great things on both sides, on the side of destruction as well as the side of righteousness, right? While one thing is happening, on the other hand, another thing will be happening simultaneously, just like salvation or the deliverance, right? On one side, the nuclear missiles will be heading towards Babylon the Great. But then on the other side, and I'm talking about being in Babylon the Great, I'm just using left hand, right hand as an example, right? But on the side of righteousness, the elect is going to be delivered. Or for example, the chariots, right? The chariots are going to be sent for destruction. But there's also going to be a, the great chariot of Yahweh Shai that is going to be doing the delivering. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be two things happening at once. One is of evil, but one is of righteousness. We want to be on the side of righteousness, which is why we do what we do. We prophesy. We teach these. We go out there on the streets. We teach the scriptures. We do our best to keep the laws as best as we possibly can, right? We entreat the brothers with brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? Those who are sincere, we try and apply the scriptures to our lives as best as we can. And we try to do what is pleasing to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing that's going to make it out of, or that's the only thing, or the only way that we're going to get out of here, right? It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, starting at verse 1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased the Heavenly Father," right? Verse 6, it says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to your Heavenly Father, with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him," right? So we got to believe, right? It's a song by Mary J. Blige. You gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe in me. You gotta believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? You gotta believe that the Lord is going to perform these miracles for us. You gotta believe that even while you're seeing destruction all around you, that the Lord is going to have you placed in a bubble of righteousness, a bubble of salvation, a bubble of deliverance. Although you see everything going on around you, you know what I'm saying? People dying, people starving. You're seeing all of these horrific things going on around you, right? But you got to have faith and believe that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to protect you. And the Lord is going to reward you for your work that you put in for this ministry, right? And he's going to reward you with that protection. And ultimately, he's going to reward you with salvation. So how much do you believe? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself, do you truly have faith? Do you truly believe that Yahweh Shai rose from the dead? Do you truly believe that Yahweh Shai was a sacrifice for our sins, right? Do you truly believe these things? Do you truly believe these prophecies? Do you believe what's written? You got to ask yourself these questions, right? And if you truly believe, then these things that we're seeing happen shouldn't worry you, right? You know, we're going to be seeing a lot of people panicking. We're going to have family members that's panicking. We're going to have, you know, hell, even some of our women are going to be panicking. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here. Salakia. It's Isaiah 33:6. And it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure," right? We have the wisdom and we have the knowledge of the Holy Scriptures. So these are going to keep us stable. These things are going to keep us stable. We're going to have stability through this wisdom that, you know, we're learning through these scriptures, right? Taught to us by our elders, elder apostles and bishops, a great millstone on down, right? This wisdom, knowledge, and stability, Salakia, this wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability. Because we already know what's going to happen. We've been telling these bitches, look, that food stamp shit, that WIC, that EBT, that SNAP, all that shit is coming to an end. Y'all gonna be feeling the fucking heat. You know what I'm saying? We've been telling these bitches that. And now they seeing that what we've been saying is coming to pass. Right? And look, because right now these motherfuckers they are in the state of shock that this is actually happening. So they're scrambling, trying to figure out what the fuck they can finna do. But real soon, especially, you know, the Lord is gonna put it in their mind. Oh shit, them Hebrew Israelites was right. They've been telling us that this was gonna happen. They've been, you know, even though I ain't want to listen, even though I was calling them dirty, even though I was telling them, you know what I'm saying, y'all want to be the new slave master and y'all want to oppress your wives and all this shit, and you niggas is not right. And you know what I'm saying? Even though they gonna be saying, even though I talked all this shit about them, they was right. And some of them is gonna be trying to walk their ass on over to you, you know what I'm saying, and be like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't believe at first, but now I see that y'all was right. That's if they come as humble as that, which the Lord may put the spirit on them to do that. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, man, it's going to be all up to you, what you choose to do with them. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to end this off right here. You know, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying, right? So look, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles at Great Millstone. And until next time, Shalom.